Hello everyone, today is Thursday, July 19th, 2018. Before I head back to New York, I figured I wanted to do a quick video regarding the first half standings officially. I thought I wasn't going to have time to review the first half standings before the second half begins later tonight when Chicago plays the St. Louis Cardinals, the Cubs-Cardinals game tonight on ESPN, but I figured before I head back up, I wanted to review the first half standings. And, of course, breaking news from the world of baseball last night regarding the Manny Machado trade that almost didn't go through, but went through, thankfully. Manny Machado is now an LA Dodger, and I'll get into that in this video later on. First up, we're going to talk about the first half standings. So how did we look in the first half? Well, the Yankees finished a record at 62-33. Now, the thing is, that puts them now 4.5 back of the Boston Red Sox because Yankees win percentage is .653, and of course, the Red Sox record is .694. So that is, of course, 4.5 back of the Boston Red Sox. So the Yankees have a lot of work to do, and I'm very happy they didn't acquire Manny Machado because right now the Yankees have to focus on getting another starting pitcher. Does it mean giving up a top prospect? I hope not. But right now I feel if everybody can stay healthy, if Sanchez can start hitting home runs again, Gary Sanchez, the catcher, one of my favorite players on the Yankees next to Aaron Judge, in my opinion, the Yankees should be fine. They'll definitely make the playoffs no matter what happens with or without Sanchez. Personally, you need Gary Sanchez in the lineup for a strength, but tomorrow we are, of course, starting a 3-game set with the New York Mets. We'll get into the National League later on in this video. But the Yankees do have to play the Subway Series at the Bronx this weekend. 3-game set starting tomorrow against the New York Mets. Tampa, thankfully, finished above 500. They're not making the playoffs, but if they can at least make some noise and keep their fans happy in the second half, just to stay above 500 at least a couple games, then it's a winning season. It's better than nothing. But you look at the Blue Jays, they stink, and the Orioles, who just traded away Manny Machado, which was expected. So obviously I don't even know how to properly say it, but Captain Obvious, the Orioles just stink. Alright, you wanna end it on that point, fine. Alright? They're not the worst team in baseball. We'll get into that right now. Because the worst team in baseball, believe it or not, is the Kansas City Royals. You look at the win percentage right here. Baltimore is .289, and then you have the Royals who are at .284 win percentage. So that pretty much gives the Orioles the second to worst record in all of baseball. The American League Central, honestly, is a joke. You look at the Indians, they're only 9 games above 500 still. The Indians should be winning more games, and I'm just glad the Yankees split that series before the All-Star break. And the way I look at it right now, the Central is just pretty much decided. The American League West is a different story. You have, of course, the Mariners, who may not go away. And then, of course, you have Robinson Cano possibly coming back from his drug suspension. So that gives the Mariners a huge boost in the second half. Does that mean they're going to keep the second wild card? We'll have to see about that right now because we got to talk about the Oakland A's, who have been surprising later on in this video. But Houston, of course, entering the second half, the official start of the second half beginning later tonight, of course. I just said the Cubs are playing the Cardinals on ESPN 7 o'clock tonight. You have, of course, the Houston Astros on top of the American League West. Does this give Seattle some leg room? Well, the Mariners better keep the pace. That's all I'm saying. Because right now, we better have some exciting American League East and West races because the Twins are not coming back. The Twins come back, I will be surprised. Even the Twins last season were a shocking team, but sorry, fans of Minnesota, you're not getting what you want. Cleveland's going to win that division with 90 games. Hell, they can even win that division with 88 wins for all we know at this point. But Houston, they're on pace to win 100 games. I would say the same for the Yankees at this point. Same with the Red Sox, unfortunately. But the Mariners, they could still win 95 plus games as long as they keep the pace right now. So, Mariners fans, you should look forward to an exciting second half. If the team collapses, that's just awful because, remember everyone, the Mariners have not made the playoffs since 2001. So, they have a lot of work to do in the second half. So let's go now into the surprising National League, which has given us so many interesting headlines in the first half. Philadelphia, coming into play tomorrow, will be first place, a half game up on the Atlanta Braves. The Nationals, thankfully, in their situation, they can still try to save their season, but Bryce Harper's going to have to step it up, and somebody else on the Nationals is going to have to figure out how to even be in playoff contention, because they're 5 games back of the wild card. And we will get to the wild card later on in this video, but you look at the Phillies and the Braves. At the end of the day, I'm just not convinced about Philadelphia winning that division overall. I like the Phillies, don't get me wrong. They've had some surprising stars, even some all-stars who were even on the team. I forget the guy in the Phillies who was in the home run derby back on Monday, but there was one guy who was battling Kyle Schwarber of the Cubs, and to be honest, and this is how I just feel at the end of the day, the Braves are going to end up winning this division. And if they don't, I will be completely surprised. Completely shocked. So, 53 and 42, 52 and 42, so you add that up. Philadelphia 11 games above 500, Atlanta 10 games above 500, Washington at 500, the Mets are 41 and 57, so obviously, oh my bad, that's Miami at 41 and 57. The Mets at 39 and 55, so that's one of the worst records in baseball. Excuse me, everyone. So yeah, Miami 41 and 57, Mets 39 and 55 entering the Subway Series against the Yankees tomorrow, July 20th, so all the Mets are going to have to hope for is that Tim Tebow joins the 40-man roster in September, and those cheap tickets on SeatGeek and StubHub better get sold out for Tim Tebow. Met fans, all I'm going to say right now is buy your tickets in advance in September to see Tim Tebow play, because that's the prediction I'm making for the second half with regards to how the train wreck of the Mets season has become. And honestly, I'm calling it. I think DeGrom and Syndergaard will get traded. If they don't, I will be completely surprised if not one of the two gets traded. Most likely it'll be Thor. DeGrom has so much value. It's like the Mets don't even want to give him up at this point, considering he was the only All-Star that made the All-Star team for the entire Metropolitans, for crying out loud, for the All-Star game this past Tuesday. He did pitch, but New York Mets, you were going to give us so many good things to look forward to, and then you collapse. Thanks, injury bug. It always happens to the Mets. Always happens. I'm a Yankee fan. I get that, but I wanted some juice. I wanted to see some excitement in the Subway Series this year, but no, we're not getting that. Probably the Yankees are going to sweep the Mets at Yankee Stadium, for all we know, for the Subway Series. So it's 39-55, so sorry, Met fans, you better get your Tim Tebow tickets now, because you'll miss out on the sweepstakes. Central. This is where I bring up one of my closest friends. I told him back in late May, around Memorial Day weekend, listen, don't count the Cubs out. Milwaukee, believe it or not, going into the second half, is on a 6-game losing streak. I was shocked when I saw this down here in Delaware when I was watching SportsCenter before the All-Star break. I'm like, how is Milwaukee losing all these games? And they got embarrassed by the Pittsburgh Pirates of all teams. Pittsburgh's now 1 game under 500 because of all this madness. But the Cubs are entering play today against the Cardinals, 2.5 games up on the Brewers. The Cubbies have to be very careful about that. They don't want to get too overzealous. They still have a good team. Joe Madden knows what he's doing. The Cubs, I could definitely see them winning this division again because remember, they are the Cubs. The Brewers were a first half surprise, but I don't know. I mean, are they going to acquire someone before the deadline to give them a boost? We'll have to see about that because they were rumored to get Manny Machado, but we all know where he ended up. So, of course, you have the Cubs 55-38, Milwaukee 55-43. So, that's about 2.5 games, yeah. Cardinals. They better find a way to get their identity back because, again, they're playing the Cubs this weekend. 4 games at it Wrigley, so starting tonight, 7 o'clock, as I was mentioning earlier. So, Cardinals fans, you better be biting your fingernails because the Cubs are the real deal. We've known that for a while. The Pirates. I don't know about them. I'm going to leave them as a question mark. And then, of course, the Cincinnati Reds, who are rumored to move Matt Harvey to the Yankees. Oh, goodness sakes, that move better not happen. The Yankees better not get him or J.A. Happ, because that would be a huge train wreck. The Yankees need to figure out who they're going to get. And when I get back to New York, we're going to have a serious discussion about which starting pitcher the Yankees should go after. I'll figure it out. I would say most likely a few days before the deadline, which is the 31st. So I don't have a calendar on me, but I'm thinking Saturday's the 4th, so Friday's the 3rd. Alright, then Thursday's the 2nd, Wednesday's the 1st. So that would be Tuesday, July 31st. Now I'm being realistic. Yeah, so I'm hoping on the 29th, the 30th, or maybe even on the 27th. Or even the 26th. How about the 26th? On the 26th, which is next Thursday, a week from today, I'm hoping I can come up with a logical answer for who the Yankees should get. Because I'm only bringing this up now because we're on the topic of the Central and we're talking about Matt Harvey. And he's on the Reds, but I don't know at this point. So expect a video when I get back to New York regarding who the Yankees should trade for. Because they need a pitcher. Not Manny Machado. They didn't need Manny Machado. And I'm glad Manny didn't come to the Yankees yet. But Manny can come in the offseason. Alright? Manny, go have fun in LA. Because this is where we're talking about you right now. Manny Machado. The team you are joining right now, the Los Angeles Dodgers, is 10 games above 500. So they ended the first half strong. Their last game, I remember, back before the All-Star break, which was on July 15th. Yeah, July 15th is the correct date. Clayton Kershaw pitched a very good game. I was watching the highlights on SportsCenter here in Delaware, of course, because that's how I'm keeping an eye on the baseball, obviously. So your team that you're playing for right now, 10 games above 500, but you got to be careful about the Diamondbacks. You got to be careful about the San Francisco Giants, and I'm putting my stock on them. I'm seeing the magic the San Francisco Giants have delivered in the second half. They have these awful first half runs. And in the second half, somehow Bruce Bochy is a freaking genius. He knows what he's doing. So, you got to be careful if you're a Dodger fan. Don't get too overzealous because I think this is the division that never disappoints. I have seen it happen before many times in the past when this division is not decided until the last minute. National League West is going to be fun. The Dodgers, if they can get their identity back, and even though Corey Seager, we know about him getting Tommy John back in May, honestly right now, the Dodgers should be happy that they acquired Manny Machado, and we'll get to that news in just a sec. So this is the division right now. Very close. But I'm putting a huge stock on the Giants. I think they can have a huge second half push. It's very possible they win a lot of games if their veterans can bounce back. Bumgarner, he's known for having good stretches. So let's see if Madison Bumgarner can pitch a good second half. Because normally the Giants don't care about all-star appearances. They care about the playoffs. And I've seen this in the past. So, Giant fans, you may have something to look forward to. This is an even number year where you have good luck. So we'll see what happens. we'll see how the rest of the 2018 season ends up, but that's the first half review. I quickly want to mention the All-Star game. I did see highlights of the game. It was amazing to see all those home runs. I'm very happy the American League won again, and Carlos Correa and George Springer, they helped the American League win in extra innings in the 10th inning. Second straight year, by the way, the All-Star game has gone to extra innings. You don't remember last year in Miami, Robinson Cano hit a game-winning home run against the National League. So it's been surprising that the past two All-Star games, even though they don't have home field for the World Series anymore, they've been surprisingly entertaining. And I'm very happy as a fan that baseball is at least paying attention to us in that sense. So I was very happy the way the All-Star game ended up as a whole. Let's hope it happens again next year too, because that would be very entertaining. And I quickly want to mention about Machado here. Machado, he took a selfie with Matt Kemp during the All-Star game. Oh, I forgot to mention the wild card standings. Quickly take a look at them. So the Yankees are holding a 5.5 game lead in the first spot, which is very good. The Yankees should definitely make the playoffs, as I said, no matter what happens. Personally, I want the East because I don't want the wild card because you have to play the elimination game like last year. Yeah, the Oakland A's, I don't know about them. We'll see how they end up. I may have to do something in the fall if the American League wild card ends up being close that it's not supposed to be. Go to the National League here. National League is an interesting story. There are a lot of teams that could get the wild card. It ain't over till it's over, folks. I think the National League wild card can give us a surprise. It could go down to the wire, I think, in the National League. So don't say it's over just yet. That's where I'm going to end that point. So the last point we're going to talk about is, of course, the official news. Manny Machado, a Los Angeles Dodger. Alright, so here's the deal with regards to the Orioles and Dodgers trade. The Dodgers are, of course, going to acquire the American League All-Star Manny Machado. The Orioles are getting a lot of prospects. Outfielder Yusniel Diaz and two right-handed pitchers, Dean Kremer and Zach Pop, a third baseman named Rylan Bandon, and infielder Berlik Vera. I can't even pronounce these names, but at least the good news is, in a sense, I think the Orioles won this trade. Because in a way, they have a lot of prospects. So they're building up for the future. I don't know if it means long term, but the only two teams that are set in the American League East right now are the Yankees and the Red Sox. In the long run. But the Dodgers certainly got something out of it. So they're going to get their much-needed infielder. And as I've been saying to everyone, the Yankees don't need Manny Machado right now. I was saying it earlier, and if I didn't say it, I'll say it again. The infield's fine. We have Andujar at third. We have Gleyber Torres at second. Gregorius is at short. Bird's at first base. I'm fine with that infield. If Cashman wants to make a move, wait until the offseason, or maybe Manny stays in LA. We'll have to see about that. Okay, so Ken Rosenthal from The Athletic reported, no cash is going from the Orioles to the Dodgers. Manny is owed about $6.3 million for the rest of the season, but the Dodgers still have to be protected on the luxury tax threshold. Getting close to $197 million threshold, though his team also seeks a reliever, so the Dodgers may not be done yet. We'll have to see about that. Okay, so Manny has 24 home runs. His average is .315. Base on balls 45 times. So how come they don't list how many RBIs he has? Well, Manny is on pace to hit 35 home runs, if anything, most likely 40. Okay, so let me just see. Yeah, just information about the prospects they've got for the Orioles. So, yeah, I think that's probably going to end it for this video because, honestly, I have no other information I can give you other than the fact that Manny's a Dodger. I don't really need to ramble on again about the Yankees not getting him because I'm not upset. I have a lot to look forward to as a Yankee fan. There's so much fun and excitement. We're playing the Red Sox so many times. The Yankees are set. There's no need for them to do anything unless get a starting pitcher. And as I said, next week we will have a discussion about who the Yankees should get as a starting pitcher. Will it be another Sonny Gray disaster? We'll have to see about that. I'm trying to find a situation where it won't end up like that. So that's it. Enjoy the second half of the season. Again, next Thursday we will have a trade talk regarding the Yankees trying to acquire a starting pitcher. So, till next time, everyone, take care.